Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790, and we are trying to hook up with Ron Wong, our man who is at ICAST in Orlando. We're having some technical difficulties, and if I sound like I'm loud, it is because I'm trying to let them guys hear me. And I got John Gordon and I've got Frank Barton here loving this as I try to make contact because Ron has a very special guest. Not only does we have the legendary Zell Rowland on the phone with us, but he's got Memphis ties that I know about from Whitehaven, growing up in Whitehaven, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll let Ron talk to Zell at ICAST in Orlando, Florida on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Take it away, Ron.
Hey, thank you very much, Larry. I really appreciate it. And I have to tell you, all of us here in the Memphis Mid-South area know of Zell Rowland, the legendary Zell Rowland. I mean, he has fished a lot of tournaments in our area over the time. But I had an opportunity to run into Zell at the Lew's booth, and he was talking to me about a couple of new programs. First of all, Zell, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Ron. It's great to be down here with you in Florida, and this is an awesome place to be.
Hey, you know what, Zell? One of the things I learned this morning, as we're standing here in ICAST, that you love to use Lew's products, and they're not even one of your sponsors. But why do you use their products?
Well, anytime you do what we do for a living, Ron, you want to try to use what I would consider the best products that are made that's available to you when you're doing it. You're fishing competitively for a living, and there's no question about it. I've known all the people at Lew's for a long, long time, and when they came out with the Lew's reels, that back in the day was the best. And they've actually been able to really come out with newer products that were better than the reels back in the day, lighter, smaller, faster, and they just make outstanding equipment.
Hey, also, you've been a long time proponent for Pradco lures. You've helped them design a topwater bait. They've got a wonderful line of products there, too, Zell. Some of the new things they're coming out with is pretty amazing. Of course, you got your new popper out, too.
Yeah, Ron, I got it didn't take me a long time to figure out what I wanted, but I wanted a new bait that was very versatile to an angler. And what I mean by that is they could fish it on top, they could crank it as a wake bait just under the surface, or they could actually just pull it under the surface and twitch it. And the new Booyah Prank is actually a Pop R type body, or even the old Zell Pop type body with a little bit of wake bait lip on it. And it actually helps an angler to catch more fish, because a lot of times when you're topwater fishing, you'll have a fish roll on a bait and not get it. This is the only bait you're able to throw back on a fish. The old rule of thumb is you lay that bait down and pick up a worm and throw it back in there. But with this bait, I can take the same bait, throw it back in there, and totally give the fish a different look than what he saw just a second ago.
Hey, Zell, we've talked a lot about baits, but I want to talk about you right now. You're becoming very active on social media. You're talking with kids, helping kids out. You've got some new programs on social media, and you've got some things in works, which we're going to talk about at a later date. But maybe you can give us a little preview about what's coming up with Zell Rowland.
Well, Ron, it's all about these kids nowadays, and from high school to college, and several of the kids coming out of college are wanting to get on the Elite Tour or fish the FLW Tour, and it's all about knowledge. And we're coming out with is I'm coming out with Fishing with the Legends, Zell Rowland YouTube channel, and it'll be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're gonna paste this about everywhere you can, and it's actually a 30-minute show that's going to be aired on social media, but we're going to break it up into two parts to make it a little shorter, so guys don't get tired of looking at it. And I actually, sometime in late August, after the FLW Cup is fished, we're going to start airing these episodes, and I've really got some really cool stuff in there, a lot of knowledge for young anglers to learn, and we even got a little surprise in there to make them all laugh.
Wow, that's going to be exciting stuff. And, Zell, we can't wait to hear more about it. And, of course, I'm going to be talking to one of your PR guys who works with Michelle Eckstead, a friend of mine, Josh Jetter. And I know he's helping you. They're going to help promote the new program that you got coming up. But this social media stuff, it's a way of the world now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And Josh is, I don't want to tell you everything, but Josh works. He's actually a athletic coach and a teacher in a high school, and he has a real good feel with these kids that we're working with, and they all love him to death. And I've never known that many teachers that can sit there and have fun with the kids and make fun of them, and they laugh about it as we're doing it. But he's definitely gonna, if it wasn't for Josh and them boys, it'd be real hard to try to put something like this together, because this is something that nobody's really ever seen before.
Wow, this is really, really exciting, and I know, having met Josh here at ICAST, it was pretty amazing. You're here, Zell, also to try to get some sponsors for your show and everything else, and so, we at Outdoors with Larry Ray certainly want to be updated with what you guys do so we can talk about it, because what's so important is you're promoting the younger generation to get into fishing, and that's important. Don't you feel that's the way we've got to go?
Oh, absolutely, Ron. It's amazing down in the state of Texas where I live. You've known me for a long time. I was born and raised there in Memphis, Tennessee, and moved down to Texas at a young age, and when they have high school tournaments down there, it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. They'll have 400 or 500 boats. There'll be 1,000 kids, and all the mom and dads come out to watch them fish and compete. And in all honesty, to me, that is probably bigger than what the elite anglers are doing in professional bass fishing.
Oh, that's really good stuff. I mean, I'm so glad you're involved there. Hey, Zell, if somebody wants to follow you right now, what's the best way to do it?
Well, they can always get me on my Facebook page. I've actually got two. I got an athletic page. I got a personal page. I've got Instagram and Twitter. But the show, you can go and subscribe to Zell Rowland's YouTube channel, and that's where we'll be airing a lot of the clips, highlights coming up to the show and stuff like that.
Hey, Zell, we really appreciate your time this morning. I know it's so busy here at ICAST, but it was a pleasure catching up with you, and you've been a great friend. I mean, you saved me 2 hours coming home from the Bassmaster Classic there in Houston into Memphis, and we look forward to staying in touch with you, buddy.
Well, we'll definitely do that, Ron, and you and I have been friends for a long, long time, and it's always a pleasure, and it's really great to see you, because it's not like we get to visit every day or I get to see you every month. It's usually maybe 2 or 3 times a year we even get to run into each other, and Fritz wanted me to tell you to keep practicing your worm fishing.
Hey, I just want to remind everybody out there, go to lroutdoors.com. So not only if you didn't get a chance to hear the show, you'll be able to hear, but also see some of the pictures and some of the videos that we'll be providing to you from ICAST 2017. Larry, back to you.
Yeah, can I ask Zell a question, please? Zell, I just want a lot of people here in Memphis don't know your ties. Kind of tell our listeners out there, you were born here. Tell the listeners a little bit about your Memphis connection.
Oh, well, when I was born there in Memphis, Tennessee, and that was back in the day when Bill Dance won all the tournaments. Matter of fact, I know Bill real well. I've been to his house. I think he's out there towards Germantown.
That's
now,
right.
But
yeah,
I've got a lot of followers and a lot of friends there in Memphis, and I've got a lot of friends right across the river over there in West Memphis. And,
yes, you do.
But hell, I'm one of them guys that when I was growing up, I fished Tunica and Sardis and all the Oxbow lakes around there, and I just don't get a chance to come back and visit. I go through Memphis a lot.
Everybody does.
You might see my trucking boat going through on I-40 real quick, but I miss a lot of the people there, and say hello to all of them for me.
We will, Zell. Well, great job, Ron. Thank you, buddy. All right. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790.
You can find